Howdy folks, this is one that really has a lot of information in the video, and some of it you may not grasp, but if you work with worm bins long enough you'll know what I'm talking about. But what I want to discuss is, it's kind of hard to tell in my bin today, but if you look you can tell the level has gone down, and I hadn't been harvesting out the bottom lately. And what I want to discuss is that some people don't realize how much worms actually reduce garbage or waste or whatever you want to call it. And the thing is that they can reduce garbage a lot more than you think they can. But what I want to discuss is that these flow-throughs, if you make a certain blend, you do it certain ways, even though the bottom dries out, it will get hard, but it doesn't actually get like solid concrete if you wind up mixing like leaves, straw, newspaper, phone book, vegetables, the stuff you use, and rotate it around, and it makes the mixture a little different than if you say used just paper. If you use basic paper products, you can actually make a harder product come out the bottom. But I'm going to show you how mine looks coming out, and the only way you can really do it is just as you get more knowledge in worm composting, you'll get it figured out a little better. I mean, I can't tell you how to do it. It's just trial and error thing. And one way I'm going to show you, I didn't process this bin too often, is I put 4 romance novels in here. And that's not the romance novel, that's the phone book on composting, but it's still up top. But like I say, the bin dropping has nothing to do with stuff coming out the bottom. I just now harvested some of this because I was checking to see why I hadn't found any of the books yet, and I'm going to show you how long this stuff has been taking to come down, because those books, I can't remember the exact date, but they've been in there for quite a while. Okay, that up in there is my very first romance novel that made it down, and I'm going to try to get it out of there. Of course I can't do it while I'm filming, but I'm going to pull it out and see the first pass how a whole book did. And it was a thick romance novel, so I'm interested to see how it looks when it comes out. But I'll post that at the end of the video if I can get it out of there. I think it'll be pretty easy because these strings move, but we'll see what that one looks like. Alright, this up in here, I let it get a little drier than normal. I wanted to show you a few things, and that's why I did it. But if you actually water your bin from the top, a little bit of extra moisture will come down, and it'll actually stay moister than this. I just cut back on the water, but I don't ever have any leaching in this bin anymore, or any worms coming out the bottom. 0 worms come out even when I harvest it. And as you can see, some of it in the back, let's see if this light helps any. All that over there, there's no worms. And if you look up in there, I don't, you probably can't see, but you won't see any worms up in there anywhere. That's some pretty good castings up in there. And of course also I harvest over here by this book, so that's another thing that shows you there are no worms up in here. But this worm castings up in there, even though you would think it would be too hard to get out with a rake, I'll show you that if you run a rake across this, and like I say, this has been sitting here for a good while. If you look when I run my finger across it, it comes out, it's just pretty dry. But this, from a compost and castings, is ready to go. You could take it and run it across the screen with your hand, and that's all you got to do. You don't have to wait for this stuff to dry out or nothing. There's moisture in it, but it's actually perfect moisture. And if I would have been watering the bin up top a little more, it would have been a lot wetter where you had to let it dry out. But this isn't concrete hard, it's just right. If you can see it kind of sticking through my finger, it's showing you there's still some moisture in it, but it's ready to process. That's the same way a breaker bar system will work. You basically, once you clean this out, I mean, you rake the bottom, it's ready to be packaged. You don't have to dry it out. But another thing I want to show you while I got one of these clods down is let me get away from that light more. If you look at, say, this one, this is the part that was hanging down, and if you look at the top, it's hard to tell with this camera, but this is a high percentage castings. It's more casting than you would call vermicompost, because I've been letting it process for a long time. There's actually very few chunks of wood or anything in this. All this would screen out real nice. There wouldn't be hardly anything left of it. And I'm going to show you, even though this looks like it'd take a hammer to rake, just watch. So basically, when you process this, you can just put it through a screen, and if you look at this, you basically got 100% of the best VC, or if you want to call it castings. That's about the best you can get right here. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna pull this book out and see how it did. But hopefully this is going to help somebody out a little. But let me see what this book looks like. Okay, this is really awesome results. I mean, I got to try to move this light a little bit. This was on actually on top of the book. It was like this. Actually had to go up in a little bit, and as you can kind of tell, I think there's one baby worm right here, but if you look at the depth, and that's where that book was, they're probably still eating on the book. But I don't know if you look through this VC, there's no worms, but where the book was, this was sitting on top of the book, and here's the book. And like I say, it's hard to tell, but if you look at the vein of it, and then you look at inside the book, with this book even being closed, it's over half gone. If you look at this side, that's pretty cool looking. I'm going to open it, but it's probably going to fall apart. Got some silverfish living in there. When it got to the bottom, it kind of dried out, but it's pretty neat. If you look at this book, it's just basically turn to compost. I mean, you can run this book through again, just break it apart, and it's gone. And if you would have threw whole pages in there, you would have never seen this book. But that, like I said, this was throwing it in flat without opening it, so results was better than I expected. And this was only the first book. I got 3 more in there, so that's really cool. But anyway, reckon that's it for now. I almost forgot, as a added bonus, I'm going to show you processing this, and a lot of times it's better just run it through 1/4 inch screen or 1/2 inch screen or whatever, but this is all the way down to 1/8 inch screen, and this is instead of regular hardware cloth, this is actually a stainless steel piece I bought, but it's still really the same size as the 1/8 inch hardware cloth you would buy. But I'm going to show you that once you harvest these clods, what it looks like when you screen it. I hope I can do this one-handed, but let me see if I can do it this way. It ain't gonna work out too good. And this was just harvested out of my bin. And like I say, a 1/4 inch screen, you would have had no problem with this. It would already all went through. The 1/8 inch will leave you some fine stuff up here, but if you want some real pretty casts, I'm going to show you. You might have a little bit of leaf mat or whatever, and like I say, I'm just doing this by hand. You don't really do it this way, but I'm going to show you what it looks like. And if you look at this right here, you can see that most of mine was castings. This is actually even a green string out of some hay or some kind of horse feed bag or something. Horses will actually eat these and poop them out. You'll find these all the time. I learned that from Mark from Kansas. But if you look at this, this is just, there's only a little bit of like oak leaves and stuff left. I'm going to show you the finished castings right quick. And you look at that, straight out the bottom of my bin. This is exactly how you want it. You don't want it dry, but you don't want it wet either. And I'll show you, even though those was some hard clods, you can tell there's a little moisture in it. If you watch this I got on my hand, but like I say, the screening process, you can loosen it up, but this will break up real easy again if you look. But this right here is perfect. I know some people sell dry castings. I don't know how it works. I ain't never experimented with it too much yet. But this right here is some beautiful stuff. Okay, I guess this video is long enough. Anyway, hopefully this helps somebody.